Hello, encouragers. I'm Rebecca Scott, wife, mother of 4, author, and owner and designer of Rebecca Scott Designs. I'm here to encourage you, to make you feel that I can do this spirit each and every day of our awesome journeys to fulfill our many important roles. I believe we are fully equipped to execute, and I will provide as much knowledge, practices, and systems as I can to help you understand just what I know you can do. Execute. We got this.
Hello, encouragers. On today's podcast, I want to revisit a subject that has just seriously made a difference for me in the last 5 years, and that is pairings. So it's an idea that you pair something with something else. It's like a checks and balances for your brain and for your habits. You can't do one without the other. So think bread and butter, or coffee and creamer, pasta and sauce. You get the idea. Those are food items, obviously, but there are things that you already do that are a pairing. You probably just haven't put that word to it. So it's automatic to think of one and then immediately think of another. So now to make these pairings, a person will need to practice them for at least 60 days. Remember that with habits and goals, the first 10 days are unbearable, like you're not going to make it, right? And the next 10 days are uncomfortable. And then the next 10 days are a way of life. So keep at it. You got to go for 60 days though, because those next 10 days, the first ones you're like, I'm not going to make it. You guys, I can't make it. Which is where you need accountability partner. You need to pair it with something awesome. And then the next 10 are uncomfortable and the final 10 is just a way of life. So keep at it. So a couple of new pairings I've adopted over the last year to 6 months that have really been working for me, and I'd love for you to come up with your own, is I do apple cider vinegar shots with making breakfast. Now, it depends on what you read and who you read about apple cider, if it's for weight loss or whatever it is. Apple cider vinegar shots are not for weight loss for me. It's for me personally to create some stomach acid because I don't digest food like I should. I've had some blood tests run and stuff. And so mine's actually for medical reasons to help me produce enough saliva to break down what I am putting in when I do get to breakfast. It's not a lovely thing, but I know that I actually cannot get the eggs out until I've taken my apple cider vinegar shot, including putting it in front of the eggs. That's how serious I am about this pairing. Another pairing that I have done is when I work out every morning, when I am done, I set the timer on my phone for 10 minutes with God. It dawned on me that if I'm going to prioritize my physical life so much, which I have done since I was a kid, I love working out. I probably have adrenal problems, as you've figured out with how fast I talk. So I for sure have to have some Bible time. I for sure have to have a workout. And if I'm able to prioritize my physical life, I need to prioritize my spiritual life. So I set 10 minutes on the phone and I talk to Jesus for about 10 minutes and it works. And you may have a different opinion, like you shouldn't set a timer to prayer. And sometimes I shut the timer off and just talk to him as long as I want. Sometimes it's a school morning and I have that 10 minutes. But it's just a pairing together. Like if you have time to work out, then you have time to spend with God. Another pairing is that I pair gratitude with crawling in bed. I don't crawl into my bed, literally, until I've listed out a few things to God that I'm grateful for. Like I will not, and I always want to crawl into bed as fast as possible because I'm cold. Like I don't have the best PJs for sure. But I won't let myself do that until I list out at least 3. It usually ends up being 3 to 5 to 6 things that I'm grateful for. So that is the pairing. No bed until I have listed out things that I'm grateful for. Another pairing is I have hot tea when I start my email checking in the afternoon instead of chocolate, which if you know me, I have drawers in my sewing room that have chocolate in them for the moment I need it. But it's not the best habit. And it dawned on me like, okay, you are older. You're going to be metabolizing things differently. It's not like it helps me to focus better. It actually slows me down because of the sugar overload. What could I pair in the afternoon where I would lay Pixon down for a nap and then get up and I was like, okay, chocolate immediately before I started email, like my special treat. I changed it to hot tea, which I equally appreciate and is better for me. So instead of going to the chocolate drawer, I now head to the tea kettle, turn the tea kettle on, and then start my email. So just a easy, healthy hack. I also started this pairing, which I've told you about frequently too, is I put my makeup on while I play a podcast. My makeup doesn't take a ton of time. However, we're all finding out it takes longer with the crap load, forgive me, but seriously, the crap load of YouTube videos of makeup nowadays. I could go off on a whole tangent how these millennials look beautiful. So I do spend more time on my makeup than I used to, but it's still about 7 to 10 minutes. So I listen to a podcast because it's a really good start to my day. Starts making me think in the business brain or perhaps the spiritual brain or the mother brain, depending on the podcast that I choose. But I do not listen to a podcast while I put my makeup on. I always play a podcast while I'm putting my makeup on. Another pairing is that I skip with my daughter to snack time. Now, obviously, this started out as her idea, but now it's a pairing and a habit for both of us. She says, Mommy, the clock's at the top. I'm like, oh, it's snack time. And then she automatically says, skipping. And so we skip to the kitchen. And I love this habit because I dare you to try skipping and not smiling. Just try it. It's most delightful, and your little ones will delight with you, and it will remind them that you actually like your job, and that you like being home with them, if that is the case. But find things that your kids will like in your pairings as well. So we do snack time and skipping. I have a glass of water with kitchen duty pairing. So every time I go to the kitchen, whether I'm getting a snack or I'm getting the dishwasher going or I'm prepping a meal, I drink a glass of water every time I step into the kitchen. It's like a threshold. I pass the refrigerator, I'm like, oh, get a glass of water. I found out with some of this blood work that I had run that I'm not drinking near enough water. And I knew that. I knew I was dehydrated. I just put it off. And it's probably because of the tea drinking. But nonetheless, I thought, okay, I got to make a pairing for this. What could I do to remind myself to drink more water? Okay. Every time I step past that refrigerator, we have the water that comes out of the refrigerator. I'm going to pour myself a glass of water. So a great pairing, and it has cut down on my dehydration. Another pairing that I love that is biblical to me is that every time I hear a door sort of make a sound like it's closing or it's opening, I try to stand up and look for who it is and greet them with a hug or a kiss. Think about a dog and how they greet their owner no matter what. Unless they've lost hearing, a dog always greets its owner, right? Well, not that Nicholas or my kids are my owner, but they are important to me. And I want to unconditionally love them like Christ has done and like our dogs do, right? So I hear that door and I'm going to stand up and I'm going to greet them, hopefully with a hug and a kiss. Believe me, guys, this doesn't always happen like this, but it reminds me the trigger is I hear the door, I stand up. And then I know my next step is to go over and give them a hug or a kiss. Another pairing that I talked about in my first group of pairings, I think was in series 4, was that I don't turn the car radio on or a podcast on until I've listed out gratitude. So things that I'm very, very grateful for, I list before I can turn the music on. And my children now know this rule as well. So they will say, Mom, can we have music on? Because they don't want to listen to my audiobook, whichever audiobook I'm listening to. I'll say, we got to do some gratitude. So they'll say, for the birds outside and for the green grass and that Mommy lets us listen to music, or whatever it is. But that is a pairing. I do not push play or turn on the radio until we've listed some things that we are grateful for. Another one of my pairings is that I have my clothes laid out for the day and then also for my workout. So I plan to work and I plan to work out. Have both clothes laid out so it's less likely that you won't do both. And this works for me. I do love exercise, so it's not hard for me to prioritize exercise. However, on the days where I don't lay out my sports bra, sock, shorts, and shirt, the workout is less likely to happen. So lay that out and then also lay out your work clothes and lay them out to look nice. If you're wearing yoga pants for the 3rd day in a row and haven't showered, you're not going to get as much work done. I just guarantee it. I'm not saying you have to dress up. I'm saying you need to wear clean clothes that make you feel good. And then, of course, over the years, I've talked about Nathan, my brother-in-law. We always do laundry together. I don't think he does laundry. I do laundry. And I call him and catch up. And I've paired this with different people over the years. If Nathan has a men's group on Monday nights when I do laundry. So sometimes I call my twin sister. But I highly recommend whoever your laundry buddy is, that it's somebody you want to develop a deeper relationship and that they make you feel good about things, or it's just somebody that you've always wanted to know better. Maybe it's your grandma, an aunt, an uncle, a friend. Pick somebody awesome that when you're folding the laundry, you're developing this awesome relationship with them. So here's the challenge, you guys. I need you to find at least 3 pairings you will start implementing tomorrow. You're listening to this on a Monday. I want you to start this afternoon thinking about your pairings. I've listed out, what is it, 10 to 12 here? Those are mine. You come up with your own. One triggers the other one. You cannot do one without the other, okay? And then I want you to start implementing them. Remember the 60-day rule. First 10 days are unbearable. The next 10 days are uncomfortable. And the last 10 days, it's part of your habit. You must write them down. If you do not write them down, you guys, it's just not going to happen. Okay? Write them down. I got an idea. Write them down. Post it to our Facebook Encourager page, and we will hold you accountable. After you've written them down, you need to put it towards wherever it is in your bedroom that you are at night, or put it in your morning routine, but place it somewhere you can reference it and remember, okay, wait, these are my updated pairings. This is what I'm going to do to get closer to my goals and to be more of myself. Hey, Encouragers, something different for Series 8 in the podcast years. We are offering a mastermind, but we are calling it the Encourager Group, where there will be 6 to 8 classmates and me facilitating it every Friday for about an hour and a half to 2 hours on the Zoom platform. It's super simple. It's online. You'll be able to see me and your classmates, and we will chat about priorities. We'll talk about your calendar. We'll talk about follow-ups, and we'll talk about singular subject focus, which is mostly my book chapter. So if you read my book and you were inspired, this course is for you if you really want to accomplish your goals. You want somebody to hold you accountable and to encourage you and to use grace instead of guilt. This course is for you. I don't even know if I should really call it a course. It is a group where we meet monthly and we will hold you accountable to your goals. We will talk about your priorities. Some of the weeks we talk about systems. It's just if you've enjoyed the book and you've enjoyed the podcast and you thought, how can I get more of Becca in my life? This is the group for you. We will accomplish so much together, and I can't wait to see who becomes a part of the group. We're hopefully starting up a couple different groups, so we're going to start with 1 to 2 groups and see how many classmates we get. But this is it. If you have been wanting to have more of encouragement in your life and you weren't able to do the workshops or attend some of our live events, we decided to start the Encourager Group, where we meet once monthly on Fridays to accomplish your goals and make you the best you can possibly be in all the roles that God has given you. Join the Encourager Group at theencouragerpodcast.com. Okay, so it's important, Encouragers, with these parents to remember to make them daily, make them simple, and make them repeatable. Meaning you need to make them daily because you need to see some progress. You need to track them and you need to make a habit of them. You need to make them simple because otherwise if your brain expends too many calories to do them, it's not going to happen, you guys. And you'll quit too early. So make the pairings simple and make them repeatable because you will do this daily. So how long can you sustain this new pairing? It will also help you gauge if it is healthy and sustainable. So make sure they are daily, simple, and repeatable. This hack of pairing, if you will, has drastically changed how fast I implement new habits. I think of groups of 2. It's just somehow easier. And if I have something new, I pair it with something that I've already been doing that will naturally go together to introduce the new habit with the old habit. That's also why pairings are wonderful. You can introduce something you automatically do with something new you're going to do. So that's it, Encouragers. I highly encourage you, after this podcast, I want you to write down at least 3 pairings that you're going to start implementing tomorrow. Write them down, make them daily, make them simple, and make them repeatable. Until next time, Encouragers, we got this.
Hey, Encouragers! If you're feeling overwhelmed, if you've had the scene where you're crying because there's no way you can meet all the roles in your life, I've been there. I've so been there, but I'm not there anymore. And I know how you can get out of that slump and start executing on all the things that God has equipped you to do. You can pick up my book at equippedtoexecute.com, also on my website at shoprsd.com, and it's also available on Amazon. Thank you for tuning in, Encouragers. Remember to subscribe so it's automatically on your phone, and please rate and review me. We got this, Encouragers.